Good morning or afternoon, depending on what time you are listening to this podcast, and welcome to yet another episode of Do Geese Have Udders, the show where we ask the unanswered and answer the unasked, looking at news and online stuff too. I'm Michael Gooch, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend Matthew Thompson. You right, Matt?
So I didn't catch a word of that.
Good. Then let's start the show. I've got a question for you, Will. You are a graduate as well.
Yeah.
Although you graduated... Wait, you graduated last year, wasn't it?
I graduated.
You were the second one, weren't you?
No, I was the first one.
Wasn't...
I graduated
Oh no, he did
before
films.
Darius.
He did films.
First one ever to
Darius
graduate.
basically did a BTEC.
Will's really against film studies and media studies as subjects.
They're not subjects.
Oh, that hurt.
I know things are loud when I see even Matt sort of like squint and move away. Well, one thing I was going to talk to you about was that obviously I graduated this year and I didn't exactly get a ceremony, which is very sad. But Will would find that Will would find that hilarious because Will loves seeing people suffer, and
I'm an objectively poor human being.
And Will, I take it you wore one of those hats.
Yeah.
Those square funky hats.
Yeah.
Why
Do they have a name?
They do.
What are they called?
I don't know.
Ah, well then.
I've got one in my room though.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why do you think
have a hat
graduation hats are square?
Probably because of some archaic design. It's only undergraduate hats are like that. Masters and PhD hats are slightly different.
I know.
I'm surprised you knew that.
Oh, was that fact?
I went to a ceremony.
Oh, well, I haven't, so that's
saw
why I
different
don't
ones.
know.
Oh, I was gonna say because they used to sharpen the corners in the olden times. So when you threw it up, they'd fall down on someone. Then you could there'll be less jobs, less people in the job market.
That's not true.
I know.
At all.
Yes, they did the equivalent of arrow roulette
Yeah.
at a graduation ceremony.
That's just not true at all.
I think we should do it.
I
Why?
don't.
No.
As someone that has been there, I'd rather have hats falling on me rather than, swords.
The hats are softer than you think anyway, Matt. I mean, they're not going to... I mean, they would make you look up and go, ow.
Did you have your name in it?
No.
Did you throw it?
No, I held on to mine. Because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, that's what.
Did people throw them, though, at your ceremony?
Yes.
Ah.
And those people are idiots.
Yeah.
Why, did they not get them back?
Some of them didn't.
Oh.
Well, no, you would. I mean, I'd pick up two. To be honest, I'd just pick up the only ones I could come across. Look at me, I went uni.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't even gone to
Yeah.
the uni. You're literally just turning up to nick the hats.
Yeah.
If you have gone to a graduation ceremony and you did lose your hat, there's a strong chance that Matt has appeared and nicked them.
Yeah, Mick, if you do have one, can I appear in your boot just so I can get a hat?
I mean, I have one at home because my parents did a little one for me because obviously they've got no idea when my ceremony is going to be anyway.
That's adorable.
It was adorable. It was very tragic because it reminded me, oh yeah, I'm never going to get to chuck mine up in the air and have it potentially kill my other friends at uni. But no, it was very nice. But then I did, I looked at it, and I used to be a hat man, and you used to be a hat man as well. I think you still are.
He has a whole collection
I
of hats.
I don't really wear hats, but I have them.
I know you've got some very interesting ones actually.
Yeah.
I do.
And I happened to look at it. And I was like, well, why are they square? So do you know why they're square though, Will?
No.
Didn't he say it?
Well, no. He said, what was it you said? You said that some of them are different.
Masters and PhD ones are a different shape.
And I was surprised that Will knew that. Obviously, you just said that you went to a ceremony, and that's why. But I looked up a little while ago.
I went to an actual uni
And-
and an actual degree, so I know things.
I have a degree.
Shooting
It's in the mail. It's coming. Apparently at Oxford
Written in
University.
crayon.
Oh, like at one point.
what's the foam?
At one point, we were concerned that they were just going to say print it off yourself. I would have been
I'm
so
feeling
sad.
much better now. I've been able to take the mick out of you and Darius.
Apparently at Oxford University in the 17th century, undergraduates were resigned to the older rounded caps, while those with higher degrees were allowed to wear the square ones. And then by 1675, aristocratic undergraduates were then given permission to wear the square caps as well. So I still don't really know why, but I think it just makes us feel smarter now that we get to wear a square cap than a rounded one.
I think it's just thrown into
I
society
mean,
now.
a rounded
It's
one would just
natural.
look more like a beret, I think. Did people have rounded ones at your ceremony?
Yeah, so the other ones were more sort of like a floppy cowboy hat. Like a soft cowboy hat, I think.
Like
that
a
sort of
fedora?
thing. No. It's a wide brimmed hat, but soft and looked like it was sort of made of felt or I was about to say Velcro, but it's not Velcro. I think velvet. That sort of thing. Just look it up. You know, there's pictures on the internet. Just type in masters/PhD graduation hat, and you'll find pictures of it. Like, I don't know why you're asking me.
I won't be doing
Because
that,
you graduated and Matt hasn't gone to university.
and I'm not going to.
And that's why you don't spend £34 a month paying your student loan back.
One question I happened to find came from a joke that American comedian John Mulaney said during a routine. Do you guys know who John Mulaney is?
No.
Oh, well, that doesn't really matter. But he happened to say something about pirates and pirate chests. So if I say in your mind, picture a pirate chest,
Yeah.
and the pirates, they've found it. Why are pirate chests always overflowing? Why?
The one in my head isn't. It's
Why-
closed and locked.
Because there's a leak in the boat.
No.
What?
What sense does that make?
Wordplay, don't worry.
And apparently, yeah, so pirate chests typically are always overflowing. Why do pirates never find a chest that's just the right size for what they're going to get? They always bring a chest that's too small.
So I think there's two reasons for this. One is most of them have got a domed top, so when you open it, there's like still space. Or when you close it, if it's flush to the top, there's loads of space. So once you open it, then it's going to be sticking over the top. Second thing I think is you've never met a pirate. All the things you're talking about are either pictures or films where they need to make it look dramatic, and a half-empty chest isn't going to look very dramatic. So
Could you imagine?
Have you met a pirate?
no.
What? Do you want to do that, man? Do you want to make a realistic pirate film where they just go and find a chest, open it, and inside everything perfectly fits, and there's nothing overflowing?
I mean, yeah, it's the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean where there's just a heart in a tiny chest.
Well, there you go. That's a more realistic one then.
Oh yeah,
beaten
that's
heart.
very realistic,
That
isn't
was a
it?
silly statement.
Do you have an answer to that question or?
No, I don't. I don't have an answer to it. All I could really say was John Mulaney wondered if it was... Obviously, we know what pirate eye patches are for, but he thought that maybe because they have their eye patches on, they've just got poor depth perception, and so underestimate the amount of treasure that's really there, and that's why their pirate chests are never big enough. But we do know why pirates actually have eye patches, don't we, Will?
Yeah,
And why do they always have eye patches?
so they can fight in the dark underneath the ships.
Boom.
Well, not fire, but yeah.
But it's just so they
Yes.
can see better in
Yeah.
the dark overall.
Not just fire.
And I happened to watch an episode. There was an episode of Mythbusters on that a little while ago. I
Yeah.
watched, and they were doing a course in the dark, and then did it with an eye patch, and then the eye patch taken off, and then
They did it with no eyes.
they could see perfectly. That plane is so loud.
How do they get the ships in the bottles, man? That always confuses me.
Because the bottle doesn't go the whole way around. So the ship is connected to the base, and then the bottle you just glue to the top.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I thought it
Are
was.
we thinking the same thing? You know, ships in a bottle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
no,
that
no,
what he's
I
talking
know.
about?
So,
Yeah, so-
it has a base, right?
But how'd you get it in?
So there's a base
Yeah.
with the ship on it without the bottle. You then have a bottle that there is a rectangle cut out of the side of
Oh,
that
I
then goes
see.
over the top.
My whole childhood's been a lie.
Well, I was actually going to say a completely
else do you
different
think
one.
it
That,
was?
well, I was about to say
Glue
I've
the bottle.
seen someone do it where they have done it in a bottle, but they've put the mast down, and then once it's in the bottle, they've got like this little hook or something, and they use that to then raise the masts up, so that then it's in a solid bottle and there is no base for it.
There you go.
And that was the way I was going to say. I didn't know that they did that way. So
So what? There's a little hatch where like the stand is, what holds the bottle up.
Yeah, except the bottle's glued to the.
Yes. Yeah. So.
I presume if you found a way to break part of the bottle, you could get the ship out in one piece on the base.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll just buy a wooden ship. Or make your own. That'd be quite a fun little thing to make.
What, a ship?
Yeah.
And then put it in a bottle. You can buy. That's just reminding me. My granddad used to have a build your own ship in a bottle kit. It was like some really old thing. It had some lovely artwork like on the front, and he never ever built it.
We'll get
And
it.
I wonder where it is now.
Could be in the loft.
Skip. Probably a skip.
Will, I've got a question for you. It's something I hope you can talk about.
Great.
And I am going to get their name 100% wrong, but I remember you bringing him up previously when we were just having a chat with some other people.
Oh, God. Okay.
Do you know who it is, who I'm about to mention?
No.
Well, I was interested when you were talking about some guy called Quanzel something, wasn't it?
What?
Or
Oh, yeah.
what's his name? It begins with Q.
I can't say his name. He's a like Mayan or Aztec god.
And what did he do?
I don't know. I don't really know much about Mesopotamian gods.
Oh, I thought you were talking about him previously to me, and he was like
I was.
he was talking about the future or something, wasn't he? No, the past was more advanced than now. Is I think what he was talking about.
Oh, so the idea that there were civilizations before we thought there were civilizations. So the vague idea now is that civilization started about 8,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But there's fairly strong evidence to say that there were civilizations at least 12,000, if not before that. So, Atlantis might actually be a place.
I believe Atlantis is a place.
Have been a place.
What do you think, Matt?
I have watched a YouTube video on it, and it was like 2 hours long.
That's a long old YouTube video.
Yeah, mate, they're getting better. Getting better. YouTube's getting better. But yeah, I don't know. There might have been stuff before us. I don't know where. I mean, there would be stuff under the ocean if there was Atlantis, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily under the ocean. So they found a new archaeological site in Turkey that was just under some hills and stuff like that.
Just under some hills.
Where people hadn't bothered looking before.
Yeah. I mean, they found Pompeii. Like,
Yeah, but
that's different, though, isn't it?
significant amounts of written records explaining exactly where it was and what happened.
is it? But
Yeah.
Well, how do we know Atlantis might have been a thing?
Again, there's semi-written records.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone knows about it as well.
Well, just because everyone knows about it doesn't necessarily mean it was true.
Everyone knows about the Simpsons, but they didn't exist.
Well,
I've watched the show.
I mean, Simpsons exist. As a concept, they exist.
Yeah, as a concept, but
As a show, they exist.
I'd rather watch Futurama personally. That is the one show where they had more PhDs.
PhD.
I got it right. PhDs than people actually working on the show. And
What?
they're more smart people made Futurama, and they
Okay.
made like a.
Yeah,
They got a Nobel, not a Nobel Prize. They got a prize or something from scientists.
Wasn't it like
for one of the
I
episodes.
think it's along the lines of like, wasn't it 9 people who had something to do with creating Futurama had PhDs?
Yeah, they hold about 2 or 3.
Yeah, and they were saying it was
Very
like
smart.
the smartest bunch of people making a cartoon or something.
better
Yeah.
than the Big Bang Theory, which is awful.
Agreed.
How many PhDs do you think were involved in that?
None. How is there laugh tracks in it? I don't understand.
It's
that.
not funny, and they are objectively awful people.
Okay, well, here's something interesting. What do you think about laughter tracks in comedy?
Aren't they all dead?
Sometimes it helps. So John Oliver's This Week Tonight. He's been doing it since over the COVID period. I've been watching them, and it's just not the same. It's just not as
'Cause
funny
There's not a live audience.
because
is
there's not a
there?
live audience
Yeah,
to
I've heard.
laugh, and it's the same with yawning. Laughter is fairly contagious, so you can watch a DVD of a comedian at home and sort of go, "Huh, that was funny." Watch the same joke live in person, you'll find it really, really funny.
Yeah,
You'll be falling over the place.
like you said, it's contagious.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
The amount of atmosphere you get is a lot, which is why a lot of shows put them in. But shows like The Big Bang Theory, I just don't think are funny.
Well, no, they laugh on the insults and like Sheldon being weird. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's like every time you see someone taking the mick out of the Big Bang Theory or doing like a parody or something like that, is you always see them just saying like one sentence and then laugh the track. Like it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
they've said, just laugh the track. And it happens to be
Bazinga.
ha 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 ha. That's Big Bang Theory in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And when I was actually doing my dissertation, which I've said before was on comedy, is I was showing this focus group.
Mick, your virus protection is expired.
Oh, it expired like 2 years ago. It's fine. If I ignore it, it'll go away.
I don't feel safe.
And in my dissertation, I was showing this focus group these older comedies, these comedies that people might now say is offensive or just not funny anymore. And that's one of the things that they all had in common was they all had a laughter track, although the people I was showing them to weren't laughing. And so I said, well, what do you think about that? It's that they've put that track in there. What does that mean? And so basically we came to the conclusion that laughter tracks are in there just to tell the audience when to laugh and for them to say, this is funny.
Yeah,
You
we
will
made
laugh
a-
at this. This
You
is
made
funny.
a joke.
Even if it's one of them was, I can't even say, I'm not going to say which one it is, but one of them was in today's world blatantly offensive, but because it had a laughter track, it felt like they were saying, this is funny, you're going to laugh at this is something you need to laugh at. In the real world, this is funny, okay, this is not offensive, this is funny.
Nah, it's just bottom of the barrel basically. If you put a laugh track in, you just don't need to try at all.
Well, some places do have an audience and have a laughter track simultaneously. So like you said very briefly a second ago, is people in laughter tracks are basically dead people. And you are very much right with that. Most laughter tracks were recorded from an audience that are probably dead now. And so some shows, like
That's funny.
like The Big Bang Theory, they have a live audience there. But sometimes I believe shows like that will have the audience laughter, but then play a laughter track on top as well to boost the laughter, to make it sound like there's a lot more there, and to make it sound like things are funnier than that. Do you think our show would be better if we had a laughter track?
I think it'd be better if you actually told some jokes and said something funny. Laugh from Mick. Matt just didn't care.
We should just put a laugh track over one of us, not the other
Just
one.
over one person.
Go on, Matt, tell a joke then.
Your life.
You see, now I don't have to put a laughter track in there, and just people will think, oh, he's being mean.
No, that's just the end of the episode. that's it.
Will, now you have been a guest on the show, and as you've known from previous episodes, would you like to read the outro?
Yes.
Oh, you sound so enthusiastic.
Yes, I would.
There you go.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to give that follow or subscribe button a click so you don't miss out on any future episodes. You need some punctuation in there. And why not check? And why not check our Twitter and Discord too, where we post updates, behind the scenes stuff, and just general other news about the show. This is not very good. Links in the description below. Got any topics or questions you think need a proper answer, or have yet to even been asked? Drop it in the comments below, or send us a tweet. Until next time, goodbye.
See, that wasn't so hard, was it, Will?